So I've been living in this apartment for a couple weeks now, and my mattress has been on the floor like a Neanderthal. That's why I got this bed frame right here. Let's put it together and I'll show you what it looks like. So let's start off by making sure we have all the pieces for it. So we should get an installation manual, a pack of hardware, a roll of this tape right here, 2 of these longer pipes right here labeled number 1, 2 of the shorter pipes right here labeled number 2, 1 long thinner pipe right here, and that will be labeled number 3. 2 of these pieces right here with the X's in them, those are number 4. 3 of these square pipes right here, and these ones are labeled number 7. For number 8 right here, it actually comes in 2 individually wrapped packages like this, but you get 2 sets of 5, making for 10 of them. 2 of these pieces right here, they're number 9. These will be used to hold the slats. And 1 piece like this, number 10. Now if you have all those pieces, then we're ready to get started with the assembly process. Let's get to it. So to get started with the hardware, we need 6 of these ones from bolt B, 6 of the washers here, and 1 of our hex keys. We also need our 2 number 1 posts, our number 3 post, and 1 of our number 4s. And with our number 1 posts, we'll want to find this edge right here, and you'll see that this hole for the screws here goes all the way through. One side, like this, is kind of depressed inwards. And you'll see that our washer here is also kind of in a U shape. I'm going to take the bolt and put it in like this, so the U shape is facing inwards towards the post. And I'm going to put it through the hole here that is not depressed in. So it should look like that. Then we're going to take our number 4 post here and screw it into the end of that post. As you can see, this is actually pretty easy to do, just starting it by hand. And now I'm going to do the same thing for this part of the post right here. Now we don't need to tighten these up all the way quite yet. We can do that once we have all these posts together. And now that we have these 2 pieces looking like this, we can come down to another screw hole on bar number 1, that'll be right here, and we're going to screw in bar number 3. So at this time we should have these 3 points screwed in, but not quite tightened yet. And now we'll go to the other side of these 3 bars here, and we'll do the same thing with the other bar number 1. And now that I have it looking like this, I'm going to go through and tighten up all 6 of those screws. Now we should have 1 solid piece that looks like this. Now we take 4 more of those same bolts, along with 4 more washers. We grab our second number 4 and our 2 number 2 legs. And we'll go through the same process of putting the bolts with the washers together so that the concave edge faces inwards. And we'll find these top holes on our number 2 here and place them through the flatter end so the bolt comes out the indented end. And now we'll screw that into our number 4. And now we'll do that for both ends, and then we'll tighten them up just like we did for the previous step. And now we should have our second piece looking just like this. Now we're going to take those 2 pieces that we've already created here and connect them with these pieces here, number 9, that has the slats. We should have 2 of these. We're also going to need 4 of bolt A here, 4 of bolt D, 4 of bolt F, 8 of the washers, and we're going to need our other hex key as well, so we have both of them ready. Now let's take 1 of our number 9s and unfold it until we have it looking like this. And we'll take our first piece here and find these holes down here. Then we'll take bolt A, affix it with a washer just like before, and put it through the upper slot here. And we'll attach that to the upper slot here on the end of number 9. Now we take bolt D, affix it with a washer, and then we'll come down to this lower slot over here, and we're going to put it through like this so it will attach to our F, so that the post will be in between them like this. And then we'll have each one of our hex keys on either side of this, tightening them together. So bolt D should enter the back like this, and F should go in over here. It might take a little wiggling around until you finally have them together, but then you can tighten them up roughly by hand, and then take your 2 hex keys, and I'm just going to hold this one on F down and then twist the one on D until they're both nice and solid. So we should have a post that looks roughly like that, and we're going to do that for all 4 legs, attaching part number 1 and part number 2 that we built with our number 9s. And just moving on to the second part here now, where we're attaching the leg of number 9. I'm just making sure that the flat part of the screw hole here is on this side, and the indented part is pointing inwards towards number 9. Same method here with bolt A, affixed with a washer. And then bolt D, affixed with a washer, and that's going to be attached to F inside of the lower hole here. Putting in bolt D, followed by bolt F, making contact on the inside, which can be a little tricky, and then screwing them together. And then taking both of our hex keys and tightening them up at the same time. There we go, we should have some nice stable legs here. Let's move on to the other side and do the same thing. So at this point, we should have all 4 posts upright and nice and tight. And we can move on to the next step. And for the next part, we need 6 of our C bolts. And we're going to be taking our 3 number 7 rails here and dropping them into the appropriate slots on the inside of our frame. And those slots will be right here in the middle, right here, the second slot on the end, and right here, the second slot on the other end. On the end of number 7, you'll see entrances for the bolt like this, and these will drop straight down into here. And in the middle of number 7, you'll see an entrance like this. One's flat and one's indented. I'm going to put the indented side facing downwards. And then we take our bolts and drop them into the end here and simply tighten them up. And we'll do that process for all 6 of our slots for number 7. And now at this stage, our bed should be looking like this. For the next step, we need 3 of bolt B here, the roll of tape, and part number 10 here, which we will unfold, and that will go underneath the bed. So it's lined up in the middle like this. Then we will take our bolts and drop them into the appropriate slots. And then we'll tighten those up with the hex key. And now we're going to take our tape here, and we're going to run it along these parts right here on number 10, so when we lay down our slats on top of them, we won't get any friction noise. So I'm going to measure out the length first, and then I'm just going to cut it with a simple pair of scissors. And then peel off the backing here, and stick it on to number 10. Giving it one push. And there you go, that's nice and solid there. Now we do that for the length of number 10. And you can see I'm left over with just a little bit of tape here. Now all we should have left over is our 10 number 8 slats. And we're going to drop those individually one by one into our frame here. And we do that by finding these little notches right here and dropping our slat in like that on that side and like this on that side. And now we just do that same thing for every slat like this. And then we make sure that they're all flat against the surface. And then lastly, we go through and make sure all of our bolts are nice and tight on the legs and on the cross beams. And there you go, pretty much every bolt I needed. I did need to tighten on the legs and on the cross beams there, but now that they're all tightened up, it's nice and sturdy. Let's put the bed on and see how it looks. And lots of room underneath here. I'm looking at over 12.5 inches of clearance off the ground, so lots of room for storage underneath the bed. And so there you go, looks so much better, feels so much nicer being raised up off the ground. It was pretty easy to put together. Hope you can follow my instructions okay. And my first impressions as I'm wiggling around right here, it's not wobbling at all, there's no movement to it, and it doesn't have any sound coming through it. So that's exactly what I look for in a bed frame. And here's just a quick final look for you to see what it looks like. Really nice. Overall, I'm really happy with my purchase, and I hope this video helped you out